Chapter 5. I'm the Alpha. Notice Liz is gone. Jason sighs. Liz, said Jason, looking around. Liz comes back with a human in her mouth. Found him, said Liz. Jason looks at Liz surprised. Great, said Jason. Jason looks at the human. Has flashbacks of when he was a hunter. He growls at the guy. The guy runs away. Should I chase him? Said Liz. No, let him go, said Jason. Besides, that could have been me if I was never a werewolf, Jason said, walking off. Liz follows Jason. I thought you was the only werewolf hunter? Said Liz. Well, maybe he was a archer werewolf hunter, said Jason. Tier different werewolf hunters? Said Liz. Yes, just like different werewolves, a voice gets heard from the shadows. Two werewolves jump down from the tree. They growl at Liz and Jason. Stay close, Liz. Jason keeps Liz close. The werewolves pause and looks at both of them. Wait, Liz and the bar guy, you both are werewolves, said one of the werewolves in shock. They both laughed and look at them. Welcome to the party, I'm Chris, and this is Kyle, said one of the werewolves. Am not invited, no thanks, said Jason. In other words, I'm saying you share the pie like what you two was doing back at the bar or cafe with the lady over there, said Chris. I hunt werewolves, not become friends with them, said Jason. Uh-oh, looks like we got a werewolf hunter on our hands, said Chris. Do you know what we do to werewolf hunters? Said Chris. Show him, Kyle, what we do, said Chris. Kyle drags the archer guy by the foot with his teeth. Chris bites the guy throat. He screams. Chris continues to bite more. The guy bleeds to death. Chris shows his bloody teeth. No bloody mercy, said Chris. Liz gets by Jason. You have a little partner in crime? Said Chris. Good for you, I'm happy, said Chris, smiling. Too bad we didn't become good partners, Liz, said Chris. I would never team up with you freaks ever again, said Liz. Don't worry, once your partner dies, you won't have anyone to help you. You'll be helpless. I might continue what we didn't end it if you remember what that was, said Chris, smiling at Liz. Liz ignores Chris. Don't be shy, show him the tattoos, said Chris. Liz looks the other way. Liz. Jason looks at her. He sees a lot of scars on her back. Jason looks at Chris and Kyle angry. He growls. That's the spirit of a true werewolf, said Chris, laughing. Leave or suffer the consequences, said Jason. Fine, we go, said Chris. Come on, Kyle, let's get back to hunting more hunters. Chris smiles and looks back at Jason. Liz, I'll be waiting for you if you change your mind. My mate. Chris smiles and walks away. Loud footsteps be heard. Chris turns around. Liz pouts at Chris, but Kyle moves her back. Liz growls. That's exactly the type of side of you I wanted to see. Chris growls at Liz. Am. Gonna finish that tattoo on your back, said Chris. Jason pouts at Chris. Liz attacks Kyle. Liz and Kyle scratches each other. Your hunter friend is gonna pay for what he did to my ears. I can't wait to see Chris rip his limbs off one by one for us to eat. And your blood will be our wine to wash it down our bellies, said Kyle, growling, and scratches Liz's arm. Liz gets angry and bites Kyle's nose off and spits it out. Let me recreate your face. Liz continues to bite deeper into his face until he dies. Liz howls and looks back at Jason and Chris with blood all over her. She runs over to Jason. Jason bites Chris' shoulder. Chris whimpers and kicks Jason off of him. Liz bites Chris' leg. Chris scratches Liz across the face. Liz whimps. Jason gets angry and tries to bite Chris. But another werewolf grabs Jason and bites him. Jason whimps. Allow me to introduce my other friend Ricky, said Chris. The more of us you kill, the more of us will come back, Chris smiles. Liz attacks the other werewolf. Chris bites Liz's side. Liz whimps in pain and grabs her side. That must be a sensitive spot on you, said Chris, smiling. They both take turns biting Jason. Jason tries to fight back but falls, with bite marks everywhere. Jason groans and whimps. Maybe if we take care of you, this situation might turn out better, said Chris. Finish him, said Chris. Ricky shows his sharp teeth and gets closer to Jason's head. Liz stands in the way. Move, said Chris. No, you're not gonna kill him, said Liz. Why is he important to you? He's a werewolf hunter. He doesn't care about us. He wants us dead, said Chris. That's not true. He only killed bad wolves like you. Liz grabs her side that's bleeding. Liz, I tried to be the good guy. Until you decided not to be my partner. Explain to me what good is killing a werewolf, said Chris. I would never go out with you because I'm with him, said Liz. Looks at Jason. Chris looks in shock. You and Werewolf Hunter, you guys won't even last a day together because he'll be dead tonight. Chris shouts at Liz. He continues to talk. Come on, Liz, what's wrong? Don't be scared to try something new, said Chris, smiling. He gets closer to Liz and licks her. Liz growls at Chris and tries to move back. Jason jumps over Liz and pounces at Chris. Liz scratches Ricky on the chest and face and stomps on his foot. Ricky elbows Liz on the head, making her fall to his feet. Ricky sticks his teeth deep into Liz's body. He shakes her violently in his mouth and throws her down. Liz's body rolls the hill and falls into the leaf pile. "Oh," said Jason, looking back at Ricky. Chris jumps on Jason back, biting him a lot and scratching him. Jason begins to growls and uses his claws and grabs Jason's face. He sticks his nails into Chris' eyes. Chris shouts in pain as his eyes bleed out. Jason runs back into a tree, knocking Chris off. Chris grabs his eyes in pain while blood drips down. Chris tries to get up. Jason scratches Chris a lot of times. Blood gets all over the tree and Jason's body and claws. Jason continues to keep going. Chris' body becomes unnoticeable. Jason uses his claws to rip off Chris' tail. Jason catches his breath. He turns around and sees Ricky. Ricky growls at Jason. Jason and Ricky gets on all fours and charges at each other. They jump in the air. Jason and Ricky both scratch each other. Jason bites Ricky's finger off. Ricky shouts in pain. Ricky scratches Jason. Jason takes a bite of Ricky's neck. Ricky shouts in pain. He sticks his claw in Jason's chest. He lifts Jason up and throws him down the hill. Jason whimps and rolls down the hill by Liz. Jason slowly looks up at Liz. Jason gets close to her and uses his body as a shield. "Don't, too, CHR," said Jason, coughing blood. Ricky slides down the hill towards them. "Jason," said Liz. Jason slowly looks at Liz. "Yes, my love," said Jason. "Don't do it," said Liz. "I'm not letting you die. Besides, it's me they wanted, not you," said Jason, looking at Liz. "Whatever happens to us, I always love you." Jason licks Liz on the forehead. "No, please don't do it," Liz cries. She begins to have a flashback about Chris. "Son," said Liz. "Yes," said Jason. "What did Chris mean by different types of werewolves?" said Liz. "He was trying to flirt with you," said Jason. No, not that, something about werewolves," said Liz. "I'm not sure," said Jason. Liz slowly goes to her ribs. She touches her side. She noticed the blood is purple. "Jason," said Liz. Jason turns around at her. "Your blood. It's purple," said Jason. Liz makes some marks on her face. She licks the blood. Her eyes turn purple. She begins to act strange and starts laughing to herself. "What the heck?" said Jason, looking at Liz. "Liz, what's got into you?" Jason looks at his chest. He touched his chest and noticed his blood is gray. "This is so strange." He puts marks on his face too and licks the blood. He begins to act strange too. Gray and purple smoke surrounds both of them. The purple smoke turns Liz into a glowing purple spirit wolf. The gray smoke turns Jason into a demon werewolf. Jason gets up slowly, holding a bone scythe in his hand. He looks at Ricky coming down and grabs him by the throat. Jason sticks his scythe through him and lifts him up in the air. "Finish him for me," said Jason, looking back at Liz in a deep demonic voice. Liz goes through Ricky's body, taking his soul out. Liz holds Ricky's soul in her mouth. Jason uses his scythe to suck the soul into it. Jason throws Ricky's dead body down. "I was looking forward to this." Jason bites Ricky's head off. Jason holds Ricky's head in his hand. He blows fire on it. Ricky's head turns into a skull. Jason looks back at Liz. "I have what I wanted." Jason laughs crazy. Liz looks at Jason. She gets close to him. She floats a little. Jason looks at her. "You're so beautiful," said Jason, trying to touch her, but his hand goes through her body. "I'm a spirit wolf, silly," said Liz. Liz floats by Jason's mouth. She puts her nose on his. "You can't touch me, but I can touch." Liz licks Jason. "You're a handsome demon grim reaper wolf," said Liz. The full moon slowly goes away. Liz and Jason both sit by the water and watch it. Liz puts her paw on Jason. They watch the sunset slowly rise. They both transform back to normal. Jason's scythe goes away. "Dang it, I wish it can stay," said Jason. That was actually pretty cool, said Liz. I never knew mythical werewolves was a thing and a second transformation. Jason smiles and picks.